So yeah, I built an AI agent that actually 10x'd my sales pipeline, and it's so good that it feels like it's illegal. Most businesses lose leads because they're either too slow or too generic. You wait hours to respond, or you hit them with a generic copy-paste message. Both of them kills trust and conversions. But this AI agent solves all the problems instantly. It calls leads within a couple of seconds. It sounds like a real human. It's able to provide value up front, and it also makes your sales team look like absolute pros, because it does all the pre-qualification and questions up front, so your sales team is fully informed and ready to go once they hop on a call. In this video, I'm going to show you everything. First of all, a live demo. Second, the prompts, the tech stack, and the tools I use to build the AI. And third, I'm going to give you a cost breakdown, so you can decide if this is a smart move to make in 2025. If you're new to the channel, then welcome. My name's Liam. I help businesses all over the world save tens and tens of thousands a year using AI. If you want to do the same for your business, you can just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I am limiting the spots to only 3 people per video, so I hope to see you in there, and now let's dive into the live demo. Alright, so this is what it would look like. Say somebody scheduled a call with your sales team, and then you ask them to also submit a few answers. So for example, what are you struggling with? This could be for the leadership coaching program. In this case, Devon Worth Consulting could be a leadership consulting firm. You could submit your question like, how do I keep my team accountable without micromanaging? Then you submit your name and then your phone number. And then what you'll see in a moment is, as soon as I submit this backend system will run. And then this over here, this AI module, is already generating a customized value package for this customer based on the questions that they asked. And that is what the AI will ask me about in just a second. So once this is done generating, it'll send the call over to my phone over here. As you can see, I'm getting a call. Hey, how's it going? Who's this?
Hi, Liam. This is Kate from Devon Worth Coaching and Consulting. Thanks for filling out our form. I wanted to provide some value up front regarding the question you asked, and if you have a couple of seconds...
Sure, yeah, no problem. Let's go for it. That's fine.
Great. You asked, how do I keep my team accountable without micromanaging? Here's how I would address that. 1, responsibility transfer. Focus on transferring responsibility, not just tasks. Encourage your team to own outcomes, which fosters accountability and growth.
That's great. I never thought about it that way. That's a really good idea.
I'm glad you found it helpful, Liam. If you have any questions or need for further clarification on the strategies, feel free to ask. Now, I have a few quick questions to see if we're a good fit. Ready?
Sure, yeah, go for it.
Great. Let's get started. 1, have you worked with a coaching or consulting business before?
I have worked with one before, but it felt just like I was buying almost like an info product, right? Like a copy-pasted PDF. I need someone to really guide me step by step through and also keep me accountable as someone who, should be better at leadership.
I understand. At Devon Worth, we focus on providing personalized guidance and accountability to truly help you grow as a leader. Next question, how about your budget for coaching or consulting services?
Well, the budget, it depends. I mean, for me, it's not so much what I spend, it's about what I get in return. So if I spent, 5K with you, but I got 50K, that's a good deal, right? Like, I think I wouldn't want to spend more than like 10,000 though.
Got it. That's a fair approach. Let's move to the next question. What are your goals and what do you hope to accomplish with coaching or consulting?
For me, I would ideally like my team to be, this is a dream, but my team to work like entrepreneurs, because I don't just want them to sit there and feel like they're being punished if there's more work to do. They should feel like they can drive the business forward and they actually get a reward for, I just want people who believe in the business as much as I do, I guess.
That's an excellent and inspiring goal, Liam. It's all about creating that sense of ownership and shared vision within your team. Lastly, what's your timeline for achieving these goals? How quickly are you looking to make this happen?
Ideally as fast as possible. If there's a quick fix, I'll take it. I'd like to make a big change within the next quarter.
Got it. Thanks for sharing that with me, Liam. One of our team members is looking forward to speaking with you. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. All right, so next what happens is this system over here will trigger, and it will extract the answers to the pre-qualification questions that were just asked. As you can see, this starts running, and now we are actually in the sales pipeline. I'm in there twice because I already tested it before, but this is basically what would happen. So your team would get an information on what happened, right? So Liam called, this is his phone number. The question was, how do I keep my team accountable without micromanaging? And then the answers to the questions that the AI asked, which is, have you worked with a consulting business before? What's your budget? What are your goals and what's your timeline? The sales team now knows this. And when you're going into the call, the actual sales call with the real person, they're already armed with a lot of things that they can use to help them make the sale. And of course, this is just scratching the surface, right? You can do a lot more with this. You can have the AI set up other appointments as well. But I think this is already starting to make you realize how powerful this technology is. So next, let me give you an overview of how this is actually built on the back end. All right, so first of all, let me give you a 30,000 foot overview. So what happens is this. You have a landing page with a booking link, for example. And then people, in this case, this was for a coaching business, leadership coaching. Somebody clicks the link and they might book this call over here. And then you also have a couple of questions that you want them to answer, like I showed you in the example. And what happens first of all is, just for clarification, they're booking a call with a real human. So this is a sales call, maybe in 3 days from now. But to make sure that they actually show up and that we pre-qualify the lead and provide value up front, that's what our system does. So first of all, what happens is we log them. This goes to our system, and then we put them into your CRM. And of course, this doesn't have to be Google Sheets. This could be HubSpot or Go High Level or whatever CRM you use, we can integrate with it. And next, what happens is we have the first AI. Now, this AI has access to a document, which you possibly also already provide in your coaching. So this could be something with a lot of valuable information. And what happens now is the question here that the customer asked, which could be something like, what are you struggling with, gets sent to the first AI, which then tries to provide a really valuable answer based on that document. And next what happens is we have the second AI, which is the phone AI, the one that can actually speak and does the whole interaction. And this AI looks at, what's the phone number, what's the name of the customer, and then can actually place a call. As you can see, it called me and said, hi Liam, how's it going? Thanks for making a booking. I've actually found an answer to your question. Would you mind if I provided some value? Which is great. So first of all, it can then reference the answer from the first AI. So that AI sends it to the second AI. And then we've just instructed it to ask these 3 or 4 pre-qualification questions. So first of all, it provides value, then it asks the pre-qualification questions, and then it sends the answers to those questions back to the CRM. And if you wanted to, in here, of course, you can also have another, I'm going to call it AI filter. And this AI filter could have a look at these questions and decide, are they a good fit or a bad fit, right? And then either they're allowed to show up to this meeting over here, or you just send them an email. If it's bad, you just send them an email saying, sorry, we can't take it right now, but here's a free something. So there's a lot of more things that you can do, but I just want to show you the possibilities first of all. And the great thing now is that when the customer shows up to the sales call, first of all, they're more likely to show up, right? Because the speed to lead is phenomenal. This whole process from submitting the form to being called only takes maybe like 5 seconds. And it can also call, if you've got 10 people that submit at once for whatever reason, it can call 10 people at once. It can call 1,000 people at once. It's phenomenal. So the speed to lead is insane. Second thing is they were going to show up to the meeting. I mean, genuinely, if I had this level of personalization and instant service and even instant value up front, I would remember that and I would show up to that meeting 100%. So that's already really valuable. And also this sales rep can look into the CRM, reference the past conversation, and then can know, for example, if the customer answered something like, this is my goals, this is my timeline, the sales rep already knows. It's all summarized. It's all in the CRM, ready for him to use as weapons in the sales call. So, there's all sorts of things you can add here, but I think you can already see the potential of the system just by this very basic overview. Now, let's go into even more detail on how this is actually built with the right softwares and the right prompts. So to do this, you are going to need a couple of softwares. You're going to need Vappy, which is the voice AI platform. And then you're going to need, in this case, we've got Google Sheets as our CRM, but you can use something else. And we're going to need make.com. Now, by the way, all of these templates, I'm going to put all the prompts in the resources section down below. I'm going to put the templates in the resources section. So there's a link down below. You can click that and download all of this for free and just import that into your business. If you do actually need help customizing this, or you want to add add-ons, you can also use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call, and I can help you with customizing this for your business. All right, so let's walk you through this one by one. So this is the first thing that happens. We've connected this to a Google form in this case. You can also connect this to, you can see the amount of apps that this make.com has it's phenomenal, right? That just goes on and on and on and on. And even if you don't find your app in here, as long as they have an API access, we can integrate with it. So whatever you're using, it'll work. So as soon as this form here is submitted, we are going to receive a little bit of information here. Now, next, we set the variables, right? So the name of the caller will be the answer of what happened in the form. The phone number will be the phone number that they submitted, and so on. Now, first of all, we format the phone number into the right format, and then we add their information to Google Sheets. So this could be your CRM, like Go High Level, for example. Now, next, this is the first AI module. This is the first thing that actually provides the value. And what we do here is we've built an assistant on OpenAI. Let me actually show you. If you go to OpenAI for developers, then what you can see if you go to dashboard and then assistants is you can create assistants here. And I've just called this one YouTube Test Caller Assistant. Now, I'm not going to go through everything, right? If you have no idea what this is, don't worry. I just want you to understand what's possible. So first of all, we give this assistant a prompt telling it that it works at Devonworth Leadership Coaching. The context is that somebody's just submitted a question, and you should look through your documents in this order to provide a short response of something valuable. Now, the document here, this is stored in a vector store, and basically we've just uploaded a file to this assistant. And this file could be something as simple, this can literally be as simple as, let me show you actually. This can be as simple as a PDF, right? And we'll format this in the right way so that the AI can best retrieve the information, but it can literally be as simple as this. And then this AI will pull information from there. And the cool thing is that we reference this assistant with the knowledge base in our make.com scenario. So the assistant here, we're then going to send into that assistant, we're going to send the question that was asked on our form. And this assistant will give an answer based on its knowledge base. So now we have a couple things. We have the question that was asked, which we'll send into the voice AI. We'll send the answer to the question, which was generated by the first AI, and we'll send the name. And we'll send all of this through here into our Vappy assistant. Now, the cool thing is that we have these things called dynamic variables. So let me show you. Here we go. So we have this thing called, as you can see in these curly brackets, name, or we have question and answer here. Those are the things that we have in here, right? So we have question, name, answer. And the nice thing is that as soon as the call connects, these things get replaced in our prompt. That's what we do. We replace this. So instead of name, it'll say Liam here. And that's what the assistant will now use as its new prompt. So it doesn't need to pull the information from somewhere. It's already integrated into part of its prompt, which is great. Now, in terms of the actual prompt that I gave here, once again, you can just copy this in the description. One thing that's important is you give it a role, who it is, context, why people are calling. Then you can give it the variables. An example conversation is always great. Customize the tone and style of how it should sound. Tell it when it's allowed to end the call. And the notes section is something I always leave for stuff that isn't working. So also a good thing to keep in mind is whatever's at the end of the prompt and at the beginning of the prompt is what the assistant will prioritize most. So save the notes section for what's most important to you. And also one thing that I like to add is the time. So this variable here in the time zone America, New York has it gives the assistant the ability to know the current time. For whatever reason, when people call this, I listen to the conversations of our clients, and people sometimes, first of all, half of them don't even know that this is AI, but those that do wonder, they ask it like, can you tell me the time? And most AIs can't tell you the time. It's just kind of fixed. But this is how you do that. You add this variable, and then it knows what date and time it is. Cool. Then you can also specify what the AI says as the phone call is answered. You can choose the AI model from a lot of different ones here. You can customize the voice, from female voice to a male voice. You can even clone your own voice. So this could even answer in your own voice. Just search on YouTube AI voice clone with 11 labs, and you'll find how to do that. And then we've also given this assistant a tool. Now the tool here is the information tool. And this is basically a tool which is it's called a query tool. So what this does is it searches through another document, which is just some additional information to give the AI, so that when it's on the phone, it doesn't just have the answer that our first AI generated, but if they ask any more questions, it can also reference that document to give more answers. And then one thing I want to show you is in analysis. We've added another prompt telling it, please extract the answers to these questions here. And that's what it sends through once the caller hangs up. So once they hang up, this thing triggers. And this webhook right here, this URL, is the same as in, if you go down to messaging, server URL, this is the same one. Just make sure that in the server messages you have the end of call report, and then it will send over details like, in our case, analysis, summary, and then here the answers to the extracted questions, right? And then it just extracts those answers, and we can then send those back into the CRM so that your sales rep has an overview of what actually happened in the conversation. So that's basically it. That's the whole system. And as you can see, you can add a lot more to this if you want. You can add pre-qualification steps. There's so much that you can add. You can get this thing to send emails. You can get it to onboard your client. Loads of possibilities. But one thing that'll be especially interesting for you business owners is the cost and price breakdown. So let me show you why this is valuable and how you can get a massive ROI on this. All right, so here's a cost breakdown. First thing I want you to take a look at is the AI price per minute, because that's mainly what you have to look at with these things. So an AI costs around 11 cents per minute. Now this is extremely cheap. They used to be at 17, 19, even 20 cents per minute. And this also comes down to how good the agency is that you're working with. So if you go into Vappy, as you can see, this is only 10 cents per minute, for example. And that's because the prompt that I've given it is very accurate and optimized and concise. So once again, if you just have someone who doesn't know what they're doing, they might put way too much information into the prompt and it costs you 15 cents per minute. So in this case, I've worked with 11 cents. And just to compare this to a human, if you paid a human to sit around and wait for the leads to call and then answer them, you would pay them at least 30 cents per minute. Now, one thing actually Alex Hormozy does is he has somebody full-time to just sit there. I think he pays them 60 grand a year just to sit there and pre-qualify and call the leads the second they come in. So yeah, you don't need to pay someone anymore. You can pay an AI at a fraction of the cost. Now, say you had 100 bookings a day or 100 calls a day, right, of people who are just inquiring, who are interested. And here's a breakdown of what this would save you. Now, I'm not even talking about the things that you would gain, the extra sales that you make, purely the savings here. So let's start here. Let's say without AI, you're paying someone 4 grand a month to pre-qualify them. Now, this includes 24/7, by the way. If you can find someone for 4 grand a month to sit there 24/7, I think you got a pretty good deal. Now, with AI, there's two parts to it. We have the setup costs and then the monthly costs. And the setup costs depend on the agency, right? This could be a small build for 2K. This could be a big build for 30K, right? It really ranges. Now, I've just taken a decent average sized package of 7.5K. And we've worked out the monthly based on the amount of calls that we get, and usually the calls are roughly around 3 minutes per call. That's what we've worked with. And as you can see, if you look at the savings here, the first month, second month, you're not really saving that much, because just paying a human to do it would be cheaper than to pay the setup fee plus the monthly. But as soon as you go into month 3 and 4 and 5, you can see that this compounds to, first of all, a couple thousand, and then tens of thousands. Now, if you only use this for 12 months, you have purely in human labor savings, you've saved 30 grand. And that's pretty amazing. And as I said, this is not even taking into account how much more exponentially likely the leads are to actually convert with this system. Because as you can see here, if you call them within 5 seconds, it's close to 100% of people will pick up. If you call them 1 minute later or even 30 minutes later, the pickup rate is just a lot less. So speed to lead, as you know, is extremely important. And now we're actually coming to my favorite part, because, sure, it's, cost effective, but the best thing here is that you are actually getting paid 32,000 plus whatever else you make because of better service. You're getting paid money to have better speed to lead, better customer service, better show up rates. It's phenomenal. And as I said, this thing, it doesn't really have a cap. You can scale it to 100 or 1,000 calls at once. Maybe 100 calls a day is way too little for you. Maybe you get 100 calls a minute. AI can scale with you. So I think it's pretty easy to see the value of the system. It's, once again, you can customize this however you like. So many things you can do with this. I get excited about this every single time I show you. So I hope I was able to show you something new. Hopefully you learned a new way to use AI in your sales process. And if you'd like to work with me so we can build something like this for your business, just use the first link down below to book a free AI consultation call. I look forward to hearing from you, and I'll see you in the next video.